Damn. Okay. Hello there, bird. Red's in the other room. Hey girl. Drawing a tankard today. I'm not going to talk much. Unless you want me to. It actually hurts me to draw these days because of my wrist, so I'm not gonna. It may not be pretty, let's put it that way. I've got some reference just outside of your view if you're watching. It's just of a tankard basically, but I'm going to try and do my own version. Maybe. Just getting the basic structure down first. I've also got a fucking headache, which doesn't help. Thank you, lover. It's quite a delay actually. As well. It's not very good connection. So this is one of the bands that holds the tankard together. I'm already getting the lines a bit wrong here, but what can you do? I have to rotate the paper quite a bit. Again, because of my wrist, I can't do any naughty angles with my wrist, else it will pop, as it did yesterday. Was it yesterday morning? Or the day before? I don't know. Once it pops though, that's it. You're in trouble. So I'm just laying down the basic structure using a B pencil, and then I'm going to prick all over it with a bit of a pen. That's the idea. So this particular tankard follows the structure that would normally be used for barrels, you know, the old barrel making. I'm not sure how watertight these things were. I imagine they used to leak. Leaking your ale out isn't very good, is it? I don't like the idea of that at all. Okay, I think that's more or less the shape we're going for. I'm not rigidly following the reference that I'm using. I'll show you maybe later what I'm doing it from. It's going to be quite different, hopefully. So here we want a bit of thickness, some depth to it, to the inside. Something about like that. But then of course, because it's wood, you've got a bit of beveling here and there. It's not going to be straight. Of course, I'm also going to be doing the froth that's coming out of the top. But so these steel bands are riveted. It's one of the devils. Pop them in there. Lovely. your rivets out. Okay, that looks tankardy. Is that a word? I don't think so. So these bits of wood at the bottom need to appear to be overlapping one another slightly. Depth there. I just don't draw much anymore, so it's the first drawing I've done in some time. Okay, I think that's the basic shape of it. The music in the background is from the Broken Sword games. It's tricky finding music that won't automatically cancel the a live stream, so there we are. Okay, that's fair enough. Right, let's get a bit of bubbles on here. So we need froth, basically. Froth. Don't know how that's going to look. Maybe a little bit slipping over the side. Don't know, something like that. That'll do. Hello there, Squire. Hello. You're the chap that emailed me back along, I think. The fellow artist. I'm not really an artist, I'm a hobbyist, but yeah, I think it's you, isn't it? Oh, I'm going to bang in some ink in a moment. Let's take a moment of reflection. So I'm drawing a tankard today. It's for a book that I'm going to be publishing next month. A kind of fantasy comedy, humorous fantasy. Comedy being, it's a tricky thing, comedy. I don't know if I've quite done the funny bit, but it's a fantasy. Let's call it that. Just noticed something we need to add here. This strap needs to go, or appear to go around the back, and then this kind of the handle. So I'm going to deviate slightly from the reference here. I want this to be a bit curvy. It's a nice little shape there. Curl this devil down. Yes, that's the one, yeah. Have you been drawing much lately? I was just saying earlier, I don't draw much these days just because of my my wrist problem. So at the moment it's not hurting too much, but today yesterday has been giving me a lot of problems because I was getting out of bed the other day, I must have slept funny and my wrist went pop. And yeah, it hurts after that. It's a shame because I still love drawing, but there we are. So unfortunately, I don't practice drawing much these days. I paint more than anything, and with painting, the drawing isn't much. I don't do much drawing for it. It's more my paintbrush does the work, and that motion isn't actually as painful. I mean, ideally, I want this problem solved, but I don't think it's going to be, because the doctor told me, well, we can fix it for you, but it will mean fusing your wrist in place so you can't move it anymore, which obviously isn't ideal if you want to be doing drawings. So I said, right, I'm going to persevere as long as I can, and then when it gets too painful, you can take your implements and bolt it together. But until then, dear chap, I'm going to carry on drawing as much as possible. Right, I'm titting around with this now. I tend to do that, so there's the risk of overworking something. In fact, when I emailed you, I don't know if you're still there, you might be, I said, you know, the initial sketch should be as loose as possible, and I'm not following my own guidance. Because I know what you mean. Before you said it's really hard not to get carried away with detail at the beginning. I'm the same, really. In an ideal world. I mean, my initial sketch, if you look back, is far rougher, but I mean, it's nothing special anyway. I know it's nothing special, but just using it as a base for a drawing, for the ink overlay. But when you start using pens, you can't make any mistakes, and it requires a steady hand, obviously, for the lines. And because of my wrist, if I try to keep a line, sometimes it will jolt and crunch, so I'm going to have to be careful. What I might do is start with a thinner one. I've got this 0.5, what is it? It's a Faber-Castell. So yeah, I use that. Actually, I'll just show you something I did yesterday. Yeah, so I drew this yesterday in pen. I used this one, and it's a map for the same book I'm working on. So this is the castle in the middle, and then the city is divided into lots of different districts all over it. And this banner, so in Photoshop I've added the city, the name of the city, and all the names of the different districts. So I did this in pencil lightly, and then ink, and then Photoshop I've cleaned it all up and put the typography on, because I'm not very good at typography. Yes, it's nice to find out that's a common trouble with the sketching. Indeed it is. Yes, I think it's probably affects most people. Yeah, it's hard not to get out of that. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do first. So I'm going to get outlines in, I think, just to pin them down a bit, and then later I can worry about the grain of the wood and whatnot. So I think what I'll do is I'll lock in the band first, this band, metal band that goes around it. That's got to be a straight going directly over the pencil. Later on I'll rub it out, maybe. Sometimes I don't rub it out. Sometimes it can look alright. Okay, so really that line is just the shadow the band makes against the actual tankard. There's various styles you could apply with this using pen. I don't know how I'm going to actually render this yet. Let's get this rivet in. I'm sure this is riveting. Lovely. Yeah, it's a bastard. I've got a headache. I don't know where that's come from. I think it's the weather. I'm a bit... got a weakness with my old noggin where the weather's concerned. Okay, band number 1 in. It's not quite right, is it? So it'll do, it'll do. Apologies if you don't like people vaping on stream, but it's one of my main passions in life. Right, Let's get this devil in. Oh, yeah. So I might take these short strokes rather than plumbing for a nice clean line. But what I'll do is I'll maybe, if this turns out all right, it may not. If it turns out okay-ish, I will use Photoshop to smooth out my lines. Not using the pen tool or anything. I've never really learned that. But I like using the eraser tool, and I smooth up lines doing that. However, the eraser tool in the hands of, I use a mouse, so it's a bit of a swine. It takes a while. So I did a fantasy map for another book I published about 4 or 5 years ago, and I was titting around with it so much that it took me 90 hours in the end. But the map I finished today only took me 2 days, so I'm making progress. Not taking as long on things. That's the thing, I agonise over things like fantasy maps and all of that. And in the end, the book doesn't, if it doesn't sell, which it doesn't, you're agonising over something that no one really cares about. So, but it cared to me at the time, so it was important that I got it right. Okay, we've got the bands in. I'm going to have a little rest and have a little bit of coffee. Let's pop those rivets in. It's one of the devils. Okay, I'm not, in case anyone's dropping in having a quick peek, I'm not a professional artist, I'm just a hobbyist. So if you notice me making mistakes, it's because I'm not very good. And yeah, I can't really, being very negative on it. Shut up. Let's just do it. Right, so here's this edge. I'm going to make it slightly bumpy to reference the wood that it's made of. I've made that slightly too bumpy. Okay, so here we've got this part of the wood, and here we've got the kind of thickness of the wood. Same here. Yes. Then up here, have to use our intuition a bit. Looks okay. Alright, could you tell us about how you edit your book? Or rather, how you edit your document to give it a book format? Not sure if I explained myself. Right. So this is the 5th book I've worked on. So I've through trial and error, I've developed a template, if you will, that references the size of the book I want to print. So I go for 8 by 5 inches. And so I've kind of locked down everything I need in terms of formatting. But there's lots of different variations. I suppose that's what you're getting at, really. It's there's no particular right way of doing it. It's up to you, really. However, if you need particular help in that regard, just let me know, and I could just whiz you up what I use, perhaps. It's nothing special, but gets the job done. Yeah, do you do books yourself? You're a writer. Okay, let's get this bit in. This tankard's been through hell and back, I think. This one comes down here. Let's pop in this bit of wood. Wood! And there we need some curvature. Okay, so the reference I'm using, my drawing is already quite different, but ideally that's what you're going for. You don't want to do an exact copy. Ideally. Okay. Not sure if this is what I want or not. Anyway, let's continue. So I had to pause there because if I had gone any further my wrist would have clunked. So, but because I'm drawing something that does have a bit of, I want it to look a bit aged, the odd little aberration is quite welcome. Okay. Okay, pause slightly here. I write at a bit sluggish, get about a short story a year. Oh, that's all right. What are you planning to do then? Are you going to get these all gathered together in a collection of some kind? That'd be a nice idea. That's what I did the same. I went through a phase of, I did some short stories, science fiction ones, and I ended up putting them in a collection, a small collection. So I don't want to do too much here on this rim because I might have some froth going down the side. However, it would be good to have a bit of shadow in there just to give the impression of depth in there. Now the froth itself, I run the risk of royally fucking it up, so I'm going to have to think about this. Okay, well, probably go for some kind of cloud formation. I mean, these are various bubbles and whatnot. This is quite a heady brew. I don't know about this. Do you feel it's popping a bit? Someone's slipping over the side here. I was thinking, I was grabbing some very short stuff to write and make some kind of zine. Yes, well, that's a good idea. What genre are you writing within, if you are? Science fiction, maybe, or? Okay, that's really spilling out of there. Crikey. I don't know if I intended that. So those two spillages make me want to put one over here, but that might look odd, so I'll leave that. Some more bubbles in here. God knows what kind of ale this is. Maybe a little bit's coming out over here. Okay, the rest of it we're going to pop in the rim now. Okay, that'll do, that'll do. Some more bubbles. That looks bubbly. Looks like a pint of old fecal to me. Hello there, Paul. This is a man who knows his ale. Brewed in the fecal style. Yes. Gonna get on to the old bird box later. Paul's recommendation for my next read. Looking forward to it, mate. Well, I've seen the film. I imagine it's better than the film. With Sandra Bullock's in it. Good God. The problem, I was talking to Vanessa earlier, that the problem is with, I mean, Bird Box the film, because you're dealing with something that's apparently too dreadful to look at because you'll go mad or whatever the hell it is. You're dealing with the limitations that it's a purely visual format, or primarily a visual format. So as soon as you give away what it is, it's over. So they can't give you anything at all. But in a book, of course, they could make suggestions of what it could be, and your imagination will form something that would be completely different to everyone else. So I'm hoping there's more potential for that film. The book and the film, if you will. Right, I'm going to be doing a light source, I think. So my reference, the light's coming from this way, but I want the light coming from this way. So I'm going to have to kind of, I don't know what I'm going to do basically. Cross hatching maybe. I have to think about it. Think and vape. Yes, good point. At least those bird, I can't always read it because there's a bloody heart in the way, but at least those birdie entities were respectful of private properties. That's quite true. I mean, you just couldn't look outside. but you were safe if you're indoors. It's quite handy. God knows why. Okay, right, I'm going to bloody go for it. So, first things first. I'm imagining, so the light's coming from over here. I'm just going to bang that in because I'm going to cut this out. Just so I don't forget where the light's coming from. So, this would be in shadow here, obviously. Maybe a part of the handle would not be, but the underside would be pretty dark. What's this like for hatching? It's not bad. Okay, so let's think. I'm running the risk of completely buggering this up. I mean, it's not a bad thing if I do. I'm doing it on the hoof, so to speak. Right, stop pricking around, do it. Right, so I'll tell you what, let's get the grain in first. Let's do some grainage. Oh, that's a very thick line. Just making this up. Yeah, that's alright, I suppose. Trouble is, this I'm using quite heavy weight. What do you call it? Paper, but it's still bleeding a bit. Bleeding awful. So the trouble is now we're on the risk of losing the definition between individual planks. So I might exaggerate them slightly. Yeah, these pens are quite monstrous actually. Oh well. Yeah, it's really bleeding. Bleeding awful, you might say. Okay, let's just do it though. So I'm gonna kind of do this. Yeah, I'm going out the lines a bit here, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so on the outside I'm going to go for a lighter one. So I'll go back to my thinner one here. Keeping the lines in a similar trajectory. Now the other thing is, of course, that this is going to be shrunk down. This is for a title page of my book, so I'm not too bothered if it's imperfect. Okay, we've got different differentiation there. I'm going to cross hatch here. Just part of the way. I think I might have fucked up. Just do it to there. Might even make that darker, not sure yet. On the top, I think we're gonna, so there's gonna be a bit of shadow here. Just a bit. Right, I'm gonna make this dark here. That'll do. It's not ideal, but definitely overdoing this now, so it's running the risk of messing it up a bit. This thick pen is not doing me any favours. Started with those thick lines, so let's carry on. Just trying to be slightly softer with my light's gone over there, bastard. Okay. Definitely running the risk of this looking shambolic soon. Let's get another line. So I'm going to do another layer of this line. Okay, we've got a shadowed side there now. This pen is too meaty. Do one little one here. Okay. Now we breathe a little. It's mildly shambolic, I would say. Yes. Okay. On the plank that faces us, I'm going to do another hatching, but slightly wider apart. yeah. And then even wider for this lighter facing one. Just doing a very simple light effect, if you will. Okay, yeah, we've got some light going on. It's a little bit distracting with all the lines, but there we are. The band is a problem. How are we going to do that? See, the band I'm referencing is very dark. Bear with me one moment, I just need to get my vape recharged. Yeah, my camera doesn't autofocus, but that's what it's currently looking like. Needs more work. Back shortly. It's just vibrating. Could you just fill it up?
Oh, you don't need to chat.
No, it just needs filling. Sorry? Yes, please. Ahoy there, Zolt. Hello. Doing a spot of drawing, old man. Doing a tankard. Just trying to get the light right at the moment. It's going slightly haywire. Oh, it doesn't help, I've got a bastard headache. Yeah, it looks a little bit messy at the moment, but hopefully it's going to get better. Although I think I have shagged the handle up somewhat. Don't know about that. Anyway, let's get a few more lines in here. So the rim, if you will, of the band I'm going to make dark, and then we'll go to lighter. That'll do. Cheers, love. Ooh, thank you. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. It's good. Thank you. Got a vape technician there. Yeah, so we've gone over the lines a bit here, but I'll clean that up in Photoshop. May not need cleaning up, who knows. It looks nice when it's a bit rough and ready, I think. So the light's coming from this way, so the shadow thrown by these rivets is going to go to the side, yeah? Same here. Looks shit. Won't do shadow there. Nice drawing, very sharp, the handle. Yes, got to be careful with this one. Might poke your eye out. Right, so how am I going to render this these bands? Because it could look very heavy if we don't watch out. Anyway, whilst we're thinking, I'm going to cross-hatch this one. So let's go opposite direction. Okay. That's another tone again. I'll do the same with this one, but a bit wider again. Some scallywags outside. A lot of scallywags around here. They sound happy. Okay, good. We've got two different tones there now. Now, I think I need a shadow under the froth, a slight bit of the I tell you what, yeah, because it's on this side. I'm gonna get a bit of do it underneath here. Just a little bit. I don't think that's gonna work, is it? That looks crap. Right, let's carry on. Stop worrying. Okay, we're definitely achieving a light difference in light tone just using this simple cross hatching. However, it's fine. It's fine. Let's do a bit here. Okay. Now for the very edge, I'm just going to do a simple, just a tiny bit of just some lines. Jolly good. Now I've already shagged it up there, so I'm not quite sure how to. Just colour it in, I suppose. Yeah, that might work. Might use the old thick bastard for that. So, right, let's say that it's casting a shadow here as well. Even though the light's coming from that way, but bugger it. That'll do. It ain't right, but you need some tavern music. It's coming together. Yes, thank you. Slightly. I did actually consider doing some tavern music, Zolt, but in the end, the one I was looking at was making me go a bit crazy, so. Right, this is the shadow on the underside of the band. That'll do. See, I'm having to, because I've swapped over the light sourcing. It's befuddling me slightly. I might even leave the bands as they are. Otherwise, I do have a grey. I've got a grey pen. I could do a lighter tone, perhaps. It's cheating, but don't know. What do you think? Should I go grey, or should I try and attempt it with the pen? First thing I can do though is a bit like that. Sorry, I'm thinking too much here. You have an idea, Zolt? Let me know. You know Dungeon Synth. That's some nice atmospheric music. Now Zolt is a master of the synthetic music. I think he would like that. I've got, I'll tell you what, I'll put it on. I've got an album that I've saved on my Spotify, because this music has gone a bit nuts, hasn't it? It's just whether it will make the stream stop, I don't know. It's worth that risk, I think. Right, where is it? Here we go. The Cave of the Lost Talisman. So, get your ears around this, you cretins. Cretins, not cretins. For shadow, you can use tissue paper. Speak on, my friend. I don't know what you mean. What does that mean? I'll cross-hatch this just because the rest of it's cross-hatched. That'll do. It's not ideal, it's not what I wanted, but what can you do? In Photoshop I can just cut some of it out maybe. Who knows? Who knows? If you need music, just let me. Can recommend some. Yeah, well, yeah. Do recommend me. I'll play this for a bit because it's dungeony, but let me know. Right, I'm just thinking here, I'm not quite sure what to do. Tell you what, I'm going to go in with the grey. Let's go for grey. And I'll cross-hatch. Maybe. Ah, yes, live stream. Hello there. Hello, Mr. Retro Engine, who is otherwise known as Rich. Right, mate? Oof. I'm just doing a spot of impromptu illustration for this book that I'm working on. But it is, I've got a bloody headache. And I'm stuck at the moment. I'm not quite sure what to do with these bands. I mean, they could just leave them as they are. Yeah, cheers, Rich. I'm glad you popped in. Yeah, I was just impromptu. I wasn't planning on doing this. But I was just going to do this drawing. I thought, let's do it on the thing. Oh, cheers, mate. Yeah, it's not ideal. I've just done it in one go from scratch. So it might not be the final one. I don't know yet. Yeah, normally I suppose I've got a certain amount of pressure, I suppose, because I know people are watching me. That doesn't help. But it is fun as well because it's company at the end of the day. Right, I tell you what, let's just put some. Yeah, let's put some. Put a little bit of this on. just to give some more light sourcing on those rivets. Yes, that'll do. So what I'm going to do now, good lord, I'm just going to rub out the pencil on the bands. Reminds me of the style of F&F. Fighting Fantasy, yes, yes. Without water, of course. Try on over paper and you will see. Yeah, cheers. I'll try it. I will have a dabble with that. I won't risk it now, but I think I know what you mean, actually. Yes, so you're using the tissue paper as a kind of texture, as like a printing, form of printing. Yes. Oh, he's got another idea. Yes, absolutely love those Fighting Fantasy illustrations. Those illustrations made those books, I thought. Yeah, incredible. You've got quite a collection of them, haven't you, Rich? I've seen on your website. Yeah, I actually had a massive collection of those, and I don't know where they've gone. They've disappeared. I think my brother Mark's stolen them. Yeah. Right, sorry, I'm dilly-dallying here. Tell you what, fuck it, I'm not going to use grey. That's cheating. Let's just do it. Right, this is where I really fuck it up. Right, for this I'm going to do thick lines just from one direction. So pray for me. But we're going to cut out around here. I'll tell you what, I'll do a pencil mark. So I'm thinking the light's coming from there, so it's going to be like that. We'll try that. We're going to go in one direction, this way. Right, now watch me butcher it. Here's an insight into my creative process. Completely negative at all points. Better idea. Ear cleaner cotton stick. Use that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm purely going off for line today, Zolt, but yeah, that does sound like an interesting implement to use. I haven't done that before. Yeah, so I'll give that a go. Yeah, the light sourcing's gone to Helen back there. Anyway, right, let's have a look. So I'm thinking, so along that band, doing this. Do you reckon? I reckon it will be interesting because it's not going to be hatched. So it's just going to be, so it will differentiate from the wood. So it's wood! It's just going to be, so it's steel, isn't it? Or iron or whatever the hell it is. Okay, right, fuck it, let's just do it. Right, ruined. It's tricky with these rivets in the way. Right. Okay. It'll do. Got to do the same here. Pray for me. Right, I'm going to leave that lip there, so we've got a slight bit of definition on the rim, if you will. Rim job. Going slightly off there. Okay, yeah, that's alright, Kind of like that. Whew. Yeah, okay. So I'll tell you what, if you do it, I'm not entirely sure what you mean. So if you, I just read the next one. If you do it, send me a photograph of the effect. That would be cool. Yeah, I'll pray for. See, I never know how to pronounce this, but Chuhulu. It's Lovecraftian monster, isn't it? Or am I barking up the wrong tree here? Okay, that's fine. Now, the only thing is, it's this. I think needs to be slightly darker again, you know. But I could do that in Photoshop, so I won't prick around with it too much. Tell you what, I'm going to rub off all the pencil lines now just to see what we've got. This music's going a bit crazy. Cheers, mate. Yeah, Zol. What would you like on? Recommend me something, but it's got to be fantasy-ish, and it can't trip out my live stream ideally. Fucking head is pounding, bastard. Took some paracetamol just now as well. Well, earlier. Yeah, so if this does go to plan, this will be used for the title page. So it's literally going to be a very small image. It's not going to be very big. Okay. Right. What I'm going to do now is just a tiny bit of cross-hatching in the bubble area. So for that, I'm just going to do some simple lines behind each layer of bubble. Now this could indeed go cock-a-hoop. See, I run the risk of altering the... yes, Lovecraft, yes. I've only read one of those. I think it's one of the most famous ones. What was that? It's where they go to the South Pole. I think that's the monster you were referring to. Yeah. It's quite good actually. I enjoyed the story. Right, I'm going to do another layer of cross-hatching just to accentuate the shadow underneath the band. That's the plan anyway. What am I doing? Okay. It's more or less, I think it's more or less there, I suppose. Ah yes, at the Mountains of Madness, that's the one. Yes. Hearthstone game music, okay. Do you want me to put it on now? Is it applicable? I don't know how much longer I'll be doing this for, but I can certainly put it on for a bit. You like. Right, what I might do actually is scan this just so I've got a copy as it is, and then I'll just go completely berserk over it and see if we can make it any better, but I don't want to take too many risks. But art is all about risk taking. Right, bear with me chaps. Just going to scan the little bastard. Oh dear. I'm sorry, I'm bonking the microphone. It will be the sound of a scanner in a minute. Let's increase the DPI. 300 will do it. Scan away. Right, I'm gonna make an executive choice here. I'll try playing this half-stone music you're talking about. However, it may... Oh, hello, what's going on here? Scan it, yes, swine. Right, scanner's not working, that's wonderful. Okay, here we go. Here's the half-stone soundtrack. Oh, hello. Very nice. Yes, good choice, Sol. Ah, right, so Fulu from Call of Hulu. So I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm terrible with things like that. Right, come on, scan it. My scanner needs a damn good thrashing. Says it's warming up, is it, fuck? I mean, how hot does it need to get? The sun? The surface of the sun? Bloody scanning it, not cooking it. No, it's not having it. Oh, wait a sec. I have a way with technology. After a while I start kicking the bastard. Right, last go. Nobody knows how to, don't worry. No, well, technology in our kind of era is certainly a fallible thing. I look forward to the future where things all work properly. I mean, it's far better than it used to be, I must say. Back in the 90s, you were having to perform feats of prestidigitation to get things to go. Right. Last try. Scan, ye bastard. No, it's not doing it. What the hell? Right, that's it. I'm done. It might... I don't know why that would be. Right, so can't scan it. So I'm going to have to take a risk and just work the hell out of it and hope it for the best. Apologies for that intermission. Now we are dealing with a very scary condition. So it could all go TITS up at any moment. God, that is annoying. Right. I'm going to put... So the main thing I want to do that I'm worried about doing is putting some lines behind the bubbles, but let's see what happens. Bloody pens weren't running out. It's all going wrong here. Well, that's alright, it's a bit cartoonish, but I suppose that's kind of what we're doing, isn't it? Ye old froth. It's okay, it's alright. We haven't completely killed it. lines are a bit crap there. Come on, John. That's fine, that'll do, that'll do. Probably send this beer back if it came with this much froth attached. Okay, yeah, okay. I'll have a look at that. Sorry, my thing doesn't focus. It's okay, it's okay. It's a tankard. Now, what shall I do next? Shall I cross hatch even more? I'm seriously tempted. Why not make photo with the phone? That's a good bloody idea, Zolt. Ah, I'm using the phone for the stream thing. Let's try it. Zolt knows. Zolt knows. Trouble is, the other thing is, yeah, that's not too bad. But I get in the way of the light source. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, see, I'm creating a shadow. Okay, that'll have to do. That will have to do. Cheers, Zolt. That was a great idea. Sorry, I'm no good at these things. Right, I'll tell you what. I'm just gonna carry on hatching. I want some more definition on this side. I think it needs to be a bit darker. I'm gonna do it with the thinner one, and with this line of hatching, I might go this way maybe. Let's see what happens. Curvature of the flagon tankard. Yeah, a bit darker. Yes, that's okay. We'll do the same maybe just for this one. Maybe. Right, this is hurting my wrist a bit, this one. Oh, poor baby. This might be a good cross hatch, you know, just to follow those contours. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. I think I'll leave it there though. I think the light here is okay. Or is it? Right, fuck it. I took a photograph, so we can go for it. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, let's leave it there. Right, now I'm just gonna tidy up this rim. Yes. Okay. I think that's more or less there, probably. Yeah. I run run the risk of overdoing it else. The other thing I like doing is just going over and over and over the lines because it feels good. Accentuating the shadow a bit more into the band. Yeah, that'll do, that'll do. I think that's done. Yeah, I'll do that. So yeah, I'll get that image. Although I'll probably use this one now because it's not too bad. However, it will require a little bit of cleaning up on the old Photoshop. Oh, you twat. Look at that. It's alright. We can remove that in post-production. Tell you what, right, I'm pricking around here. Doing even more. Right, I'm going to do a slight, I'm just going to cross hatch against this grain just to keep it in with the rest of it. I think that might be okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm terrible for overworking stuff, that's the trouble. Do with an ale right now, actually. However, I never drink when I'm drawing or doing any kind of art. It's my rule. I always follow that. I don't trust. I think my skills are dubious at best anyway. If I was inebriated, it would. Although I've got a friend, Damien, I don't think he'd be watching this, but he said he likes to do art when he's drunk, or likes to write as well, I think. Right, now I'm just going to redefine these lines just to make them pop a bit more. Stylize it a bit. You need 3D printer now. Yeah, that'd be good. After I've redefined these bubbles, the only thing left to do, I think, is going to be I need to sort out the shadow under the bubble, the foam. Toss a coin to a witcher, already empty. Apologies. Absolutely love that song. Okay, that's worked out okay going back over that. apologies again, my camera is utter shite. I don't really know what else to do because I don't want to spend bloody hundreds on a phone, on a camera. Right, the only thing left to do, I'm just going to try and sort out the shadow under the foam because I think that's the only thing that's really buggering it up at the moment. For that, I'm going to cross-hatch the shit out of it. Right, so light's coming from there, so let's take the shadow down here. Let's accentuate the shadow. Look at that. Okay. It'll have to do, chums. It'll have to do. That'll do, that'll do. Yeah, let's leave it there. Oh, when you play in the next game, last time you told me you bought the game. Bought a game. Ah! What game was that? Oh, that's right. It was that one-button shoot-'em-up game. Yeah, I will do that soon, so. Yeah, there's the finished one. Will I use it? Don't know. I think I will. I think it'll be good enough. Once I've shrunk it down, I think some of those imperfections will disappear. The only thing that does bother me mainly is the shadow with the froth there. It looks a little bit like a creature trying to escape the confines of the tankard. Not ideal. Yes, also Zolt, I've been practicing, what's it called? Cannon fodder. So I'm going to do that soon. Right, I'm going to do one of these little stars as well because it's popping. That's a terrible one. Don't know if I'd want to drink this brew. It's got something dodgy in it. Lovely chubbly, lovely. Right, let's do a bit of... Yeah, please do leave whenever you want to. I don't know if I'll be here much longer, I don't know. Unless we have a little drinking session, you and I. That would be lovely. Sometimes the only way to get rid of a headache is to drink through it. That's what I've found. That headache has nothing to do with drinking, by the way. I don't drink during the week. Typically, although I have had the week off, so I have been drinking a little bit, but not much. There we are. I think that's it. Lovely. Yeah, sorry mate, my camera is awful. Yeah, I'll stick the autofocus on. Right, it should focus on it now. It's trying to. That is a heady brew. Yeah, it's okay. When I look at it on there, it looks worse. There we are. If I had the autofocus on, it just keeps popping in and out. That's why I don't put it on. With it. Dunno. I'll leave it on for a bit. Thank you for all watching. what to do now. Smack my head against the wall for a bit. Yeah, silly old head of mine. Yeah, this bit here is annoying, but there's not much I can do about that now. Hiddle-oo, hiddle-oo. Looks okay to me on the laptop screen. Seem to autofocus. Yeah, I've turned it on now, so it will autofocus a bit. But oh, there you go. It's really shit though. It's like it's a webcam basically. I think you get far better results if you use a phone, but I can't be asked because I've already got this set up, so I just use it. Yeah, that'll do. I'm going to keep titting. You need shadow on bottom as well. Ah, that's a good point. Right, now, yes. That's a good point, Zol. I've completely forgotten about that. Yeah, it needs to rest on something. I'm thinking a wooden table. So, so basically, it's going to be around there. So, it's going to cast a shadow of sorts, isn't it? But it won't be there. So we'll do a little shadow there. The vast majority will be around the back of it. But it needs to appear, and then I'm going to do wood grain. So something like that. Right. Salt is on it, basically. Right. Not quite sure how to do this. Tell you what, let's pick out a kind of grain. Something like that. And then we'll pop in some shadow. How are we going to do that? It's a right battle axe of a tankard, isn't it? So there's two different ways of doing this. Tell you what, I might just block in using my fat bastard pen. Do a simple That'll do. Okay, right, that's what it's sitting on there. I think that shadow needs to come out a bit more. Let's get him out. If we rub it a little bit. That'll do, that'll do. What do you think? Is that better? I think that shadow needs to come out even a bit further too, because of the handle. So, say the handle comes to about there. Okay, there we are. Right, that'll do. I think that'll do. Focus, you fuck. Lovely. Right. Now, I don't think any of you will want this because I've done all these daubings, but if you do, let me know. If there's more than one of you, I'll do a draw and I'll just send it to you. No purchase required. How about that? So let me know if you want it, and yeah, we'll go from there. After I've scanned it, of course, if I can get the bastard scanner to work. This music's getting a bit spooky. That hatching isn't ideal. See, I'm the master of fucking things up. You've got to be consistent with your, when you're cross hatching, you've got to be consistent with your lines, otherwise it becomes a mess. Okay, tell me, Zolt, what's wrong? Let me know. Let me know. Shadow on the front. You mean at the base of the tankard? I know what you mean. Yeah. So it's So what I was trying to achieve was, so there's already a wooden surface here. If I extend it slightly, so whilst it's not. This isn't actually shadow, this is the grain of the wood, the table. Wood! Just to give it something to sit on. But I know what you mean, it's contesting with the... No, don't worry. But then I've got a line there. That'll do. JC baby. Right, done. Yeah. That bit there's annoying me, but there's nothing I can do about it. I'll tell you what. Let's go in heavy. That'll do. Good. Right, let's end it there. It's really annoying me, isn't it? That'll do. That will do, son. What do I do? I say that and then I start going off piece. That will have to do. Lovely. Okay, done. Only took me an hour and 45 minutes. Christ. Right, let's stop there. Now, what should I do? What do you all want to do? Do you want to pop off, or I've got half an hour if you want to linger? I've got this nice set of pens that my brother got me last year for my birthday. And they're really nice. They're dual. They got two tips on them. So you got your thick monster tip, punch the tip and kiss it, and a small tip. There we are. I've dabbled using these, so I like doodling with them, but yeah, don't use them very often. Zolt wants me to play games. Right, I'll tell you what I'll do. Just realised one of the viewers I have on here is me. Ah, Lord. I'm using my phone as the, what do you call it? The hotspot, because my internet's really shit. And you could fry an egg on that phone at the moment. I won't colour it in Zolt, no, I won't. What tip do you like the most? Well, actually, I've always liked fine line stuff, but now that my wrist plays up all the time, I do quite like using the chunky ones, just because it gives you slightly less control. Because I've lost some control, I can get it's kind of embracing the idea of losing control of it. So yeah, I haven't got any of my doodles here to show you, but yeah, back along I was going through, I was just doing loads of them, all different colours, and I thought it might be interesting, you might be able to use them as starting points for paintings perhaps, you know, just making things up as you go along. There we are, right, tell you what, lovely. Tankard of ale, tankard of ale. Whoa. I know what I can show you. I'll show you the map that I did today. Ooh. Smooth this over here. Switch it over to this view. Hello. Move this over. Gap. Put that on like that. Lovely. Okay, right. I'll show you quickly is the map I've made. Bear with. In fact, I might be able to show you the whole process. Yeah, I'll do that. Right, here we go. So if I switch the view over, so you're not looking at my ugly mug. Okay, so for the map, tell you what, I'm just going to change this music, it's doing my own. It's just that particular song, so I do like it. It's a bit too jolly for my liking. Tell you what, I'm going to put on my favourite. This is what I always put on when I do a live stream. A minute, let's let this advert play. Yeah, bear with me. I'll show you. So this, I've made a map for my upcoming fantasy comedy book, and so I'll show you how I began making it. Turn that down slightly. Right. Where are we? What am I doing again? Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, so this is how it began in my journal. So I'd already started writing it, the book, so I had a number of places that I knew that would feature in the book. Bear with me, I've just got to rejoin the live stream, so if any of you comment I can see it. Okay. Right. Yeah, so yeah, this was, it started life in my journal. So when I was writing, I knew that certain places, so my main character lives in Godric Square, and Hoopers and Tardigrade Avenue, all those places feature, and some of those other places. I wasn't quite sure how it would work within the plan of the city, because it's all contained within a city. So the next one I did, again, which was in my journal, look at that, I've got a little note there. Email Rich. This is Rich from the Retro Engine. So I've always got to write down things because I'll always forget them. Anyway, look, so we've got, I'm starting to think more about the layout. So we have the inner city, which contains the more salubrious districts, so the posh areas, and right in the middle is the palace. I also started thinking about rivers. I want a river that goes through it. I also knew I had a kind of dock area. It's called Fishtown, which is based on where Vanessa used to live in Brixton. Brixham. So they have a fish. It's a kind of it's a fish town, if you will. They call the dock area or the port side fish town because they land a lot of fish there. So I've got my own fish town down there. Anyway, next. So then I started thinking more about the actual layout and put some of the posh areas in and envisage. So we've got two walls of this great big walled city, basically. So the outer wall was to protect the city during times of war, but it's peacetime now, so they don't really need that wall. But the inner wall is still used because it stops the filth getting in to the posh area from the dodgy areas. So here again I've laid down the places that feature within my story. We've got a library here. This is the Magisterium where all the wizards hang out. There's Godric Square where my character lives. Wimple, that's a place where you'll find out if you want to read it, I don't know. Winnet, I just mentioned that briefly. Anyway, so then I took that and then I made that drawing that I showed earlier. So this is just pencil and again using that 0.5 fine liner over the top of it. Then I took that, plonked it into Photoshop, and I added this is the name of the town basically, or the city, and banged in the river, highlighting the various bridges. Got the palace in the middle there, and yeah, so yeah, that was it. And then the last thing to do was to stick in all the names. So this is a very vast city. It's kind of like a city-state really, and so each of these areas is a district within the city, and they each have their own particular reason for existing, if you will, within the story. So Godric Square, as I've said, is where my character lives. He's like a failed wizard, and it's named after the god of not drinking ale, basically, because my character is a bit of an alcoholic. So he's ended up winding up living next to a church that doesn't like people drinking, which is a bit of a pain in the ass. Tardigrade Avenue is a bit of a horrible place, and yeah, various other places. But then I've added in places that haven't been used but might be used if I write another one. So we've got Punt here, which is a kind of gambling district. The Mead Quarter. We've got a place called Shag. Wait a minute. Fuck off. Oh, what am I doing here? Yeah, so we've got Shag, we've got all various other things. Barrel Down, Rat Tail. I mean, just made it all up basically. But in so doing, I was making them up based on the idea of what I might encounter later on, if I were to write another one. So yeah, so they're all slightly dodgy sounding. Well, some of them are. Peep, Merkin, Conquer. I mean, the mind can go crazy looking at these. Dilly is one of my favourites. But there we are. Okay, so that's all I've got to show you, really. Whew. Right. I might have to sink an ale, actually. Right, apparently there's still 4 people and I'm one of them, so there's 3 of you. Now, what do you want to do? Do you want to pop off, or shall I say goodbye, or what do you want to do? I'll probably just leave it here, shall I? Okay, thank you all for watching. Thank you for those of you who stayed to the bitter end. Very good of you indeed. And thanks for the tips along the way, helping me do that drawing. Next time I'll show you what the drawing actually came out as on the book. So yeah, splendid. Okay, thank you all and see you next time.